There is a serious problem going on right now in the YouTube community with YouTube creators and the fans, I think, is also to blame, and they are partially responsible for the issues that are occurring right now. There exists this sort of counterculture within YouTube that runs parallel to the sort of things and the sort of beliefs that we hold dear to us in normal society. There are just certain things that are uncool to do or to say in this society. You can't openly walk outside and call somebody a racial slur. You can't tell somebody to go kill themselves. You can't pick on somebody or make fun of them because of their weight or their size or their age. The truth is, you can technically do all these things, but nobody ever does because they're fucked up things to do. And we as human beings are acclimated to behaving in a certain way that allows us to at least be accepted, not necessarily, reveled or revered or anything like that, but just accepted in the society that we live in. But somehow it seems that YouTube has become sort of this place where those of us who don't necessarily follow those kinds of social norms come along and just spew their bullshit. For those of you that aren't up to date with the YouTube drama that goes on this crazy, freaking schizophrenic, weird ass website. A little while ago, oh gosh, maybe a month or two, there was a video uploaded by a YouTuber named Logan Paul. Now I know like probably 3/4 of you are just like sitting there going, "Oh Jesus Christ, not another Logan Paul video, no please." But it's not really about that. I think it's more about everything that's happening right now. You see, what happened was Logan Paul uploaded a video during his stay in Japan where he visited a very famous forest. I don't know the name of it personally. It's a strange phenomenon where the Japanese citizens will go and commit suicide in this forest. I don't fully understand the customs to it. To me, it's a very foreign concept, and but I respect it. It is what it is, and I know what it is. Logan Paul is not such a person. He went over to the forest where he found the body of a man who had recently committed suicide, and he proceeded to videotape it. He said horrible things. He treated it like it was a joke. He treated it like it was just something for him to capitalize on. I've said a lot of messed up shit in my life. I've done a lot of messed up shit too. And that's definitely something I would never do. I can't ever imagine any sort of scenario where I could see myself walking up to somebody who had recently committed suicide and proceeding to not only mock what they did, but mock who they were and mock everyone who's ever attempted something like that or has already done that in the past. And to me, it's incredibly offensive. And it is a topic I've been trying to avoid for a very long time because it's so uncomfortable for me to talk about. And I just really wanted to sweep it under the rug. I thought it would just be a passing YouTube thing. And I thought that, Logan Paul was just going to sink. All of this negative press. I mean, he's gotten like national negative press. I figured that would do it for his channel. That would be it. And I figured wrong. He just recently announced his return after 3 weeks. And for the record, I'm not going to post any videos. I'm not going to show any clips of like any Logan Paul videos or any other videos for that matter. This is a serious subject. I'm not here to ridicule people. I'm not here to make fun of anybody. And I'm not here to openly bash any one person in particular. But he recently made a video where he did indeed acknowledge that he had done something wrong. Well, he did it twice, actually. The first time, it seemed like a very serious video. It was very heartfelt, it seemed. And he wanted to really, express some kind of condolences. And now that he's released another video, all of that basically went out the fucking window. He was rude. He was narcissistic. He was belligerent. He acted as if nothing he did was wrong. He acted like everything was okay and that, all of this backlash he's been getting is just haters and, people trying to steal his fame. He also called out YouTube for cutting his AdSense revenue in half after everything that happened. In a very sarcastic, joking tone, he was like, oh, thanks, YouTube. Really? I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's very obvious what Logan Paul's problem is. He's a narcissistic sociopath. And that's plain and simple. The fact that any human being can walk up to somebody else's misfortune and, obviously just record it and belittle it and mock it, and it's disgusting. It's seriously disgusting. There are a lot of channels that do things like this, maybe not to this extreme, maybe not this bad, maybe not even this insulting, but there are channels out there that the owners of which are sociopathic at best, and complete monsters of human beings at worst. And again, I'm not here to bash anybody. This is not what this video is about. What it's about is we are letting this stuff happen, and nobody really seems to understand that. There are channels out there like Logan Paul that mock suicide or mock other people's misfortune. There are channels like Onision who say that it's okay basically to hit on underage girls and to promote their own drama and their own abusive nature towards their wives or their significant other, whoever that may be. These channels promote these sorts of horrible things that we would never even think about in society. We would not even consider somebody who could be capable of doing this, and we sure as hell wouldn't give them the time of day. We would shun them from society. But you know what we do every time we watch one of their videos right here on this website? We're giving them a paycheck. Every time you click on that video, no matter what the clickbait says, you're giving them a paycheck. You can specifically go on to Logan Paul's video and tell him what a prick he is and how horrible that thing was that he did, and he's such a piece of shit for doing that. And guess what? You've just given him another $1. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's about money, and it's about attention, and it's about fame. These narcissistic freak shows just want the glory. That's all they want. They want to have their name in the spotlight. They want their face all over everything, and they don't give a fuck who they harm to get to that point. And there is a lot of that on this website. Frankly, despite the fact that Logan Paul decides to bash YouTube for taking away his AdSense money after he had mocked somebody who committed suicide and filmed it, I think he got off pretty lightly. I want to be upset with YouTube, I really do, because they have complete and total control over everything that all of us do, all of the money that creators make. They have complete and total control over that. And they've recently added some new rules that have made it even harder for us creators to make money. But at the same time, they're reasonable. Everything that YouTube has done towards creators so far, with the exception of like a little ups and downs here and there, but pretty much everything has been fair and reasonable, especially when it comes to topics like this. When it comes to people like Logan Paul, what they did was reasonable. Personally, I wanted to see more. And this is really hard for me because I've lost a lot of people to suicide. It's a big deal to me. And as somebody who has contemplated it and who has fought depression and anxiety pretty much from the time that he was young, this is insulting to say the least. I don't want to say that I take it personally because I don't. None of this was obviously directed towards me, and I have no say, and I shouldn't butt in the first place. But I do find it incredibly offensive. I find it completely repugnant that people out there are willing to do these things for fame and for notoriety. I'm not saying that YouTube should make more rules, dictating what we can or cannot upload, because then it starts getting down a slippery slope. You start having to battle, free speech and things like that, which I'm very much a proponent of. But I do think that we really, as viewers, need to be way more careful about the things that we choose to watch. I know in a lot of cases it becomes too late. You see this video and you watch it and you think, oh, this can't be real. There's no way. Why would anybody do something like this, right? Sometimes it's too late. They get that ad revenue anyway, But certainly after the person has been exposed, don't go back to them. There are a lot of people who are still going back to Logan Paul's videos. That's how he's still able to get away with what he's doing. He doesn't have to worry about consequences because they don't apply to him now. He can insult an entire group of people who are obviously suffering and need help. And guess what? He can completely get away with it because people will keep feeding into that. People will keep watching his videos. They'll keep buying his merchandise. They'll do pretty much everything they can to keep it going. So please, I'm begging you, please, just for the sake of getting this asshole and all the other assholes off of this website and to make this place truly a good, unique, and interesting place where people can make, really well thought out and fantastic content, I'm asking you guys, as viewers, please do not watch people like Logan Paul after they've been exposed for the horrible, narcissistic, and sociopathic things that they've done. At the end of the day, you are the paycheck. You're the one that makes them the money. And if you starve them out, they will leave. So that's all I'm going to say for that. I really wanted to avoid this topic, like I said earlier, and I've been watching the Logan Paul videos, and not necessarily his, because again, I don't want to feed into his narcissism, his psychopathy almost. But I've been watching other people covering it. I've been watching what they're upset by, and it is upsetting. It's horrible. The fact that he can just brush this off, act like it was part of a gimmick, act like it was part of his big scheme to make more money. It's disgusting. I'm going to let that go before this turns into a big rant and a big ramble. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hate for this to get so serious. I don't normally make content like this that's just like super serious or bashes other people or talks about anybody. If you guys want to see the rest of my stuff, check it out. I'll go ahead and leave links somewhere around here. But you guys can check out a lot of my gaming stuff or other things that I find interesting. And before I want to go, I do want to say one more thing. I did talk about suicide very recently, actually, with the video game that came out called Doki Doki Literature Club. And it's very interesting that all these things started happening all at once, because Doki Doki Literature Club was a game that really touches on suicide in a lot of aspects. But it also came out and started getting really popular around the same time that Logan Paul did the things that he did. And so I also made something a little bit lighthearted when it comes to suicide and things like that, because the video is more lighthearted in nature. And I think that that's mostly just because this is a very hard topic for me to deal with. And I don't really know any other coping method. And I know a lot of people said, well, maybe that's how Logan Paul coped with it. Well, the only difference is that his was scripted bullshit, and that what I'm telling you guys is genuine. I really did lose somebody to suicide. It really did happen. And I've lost some of my favorite artists to suicide. That really did happen. Logan Paul hasn't lost anybody, period. And even if he did, I would certainly hope that he would have learned from that and had a little bit of humility and decency and grace and shown something. But all he showed was vanity and a complete lack of regard for human life. So, just to clarify, if you guys watch that video, if you do stumble across it and it does appear to be insulting in any way, I sincerely apologize, ahead of time for that. I obviously don't want to make it insulting. This is a very serious topic, and I really want to talk about it in a serious way when I can. But I really, I tried to make it lighthearted, make a joke about how I had some sort of like mental breakdown. But the truth is, that wasn't entirely false. I didn't necessarily, I didn't literally sit in the corner of my room in a fetal position crying, but I did have some very hard times. There were some tears shed, and there was a lot of stress mentally on me, and I think that it's because I've been suppressing a lot of these emotions for a long time, and it all just started just coming out, basically. So again, even that was from the heart. I tried to make it like, it's no big deal, I ain't a bitch, but the reality is it's a serious thing for me, and it's hard for me to cope with, and I think it is something that I should probably deal with one day, because this stuff's not going to go away. It never does. But anyway, I just wanted to say that I'm sincerely sorry if it does insult anybody. And if it does, let me know. Send me a message, or send me a personal message on Twitter or anything like that. And I'll take a look at it, and I'll see, and maybe I'll try to explain it to you and be like, well, hey, look, before you get insulted, like, here's where I'm coming from in this. But if it's really truly something that enough people are like, yeah, no, this is really not good, and you need to take it off of YouTube, then I will gladly remove it. But in either case, you guys, please, just the overall message in this, and I know I'm rambling and I've been talking for like 20 minutes now, but the overall message in all of this is, please be careful about who you choose to spend your time watching, who you choose to follow, and who you choose to, especially worst of all, who you choose to look up to. There are some very, very dangerous people out there, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt at their expense. Logan Paul is definitely not worth it. So stay safe, you guys. Keep yourselves away from all the Logan Pauls, and thank you so much for watching this video and taking the time to hear me out and hear my thoughts on this whole crazy scenario that we're stuck in as creators. I mean, it feels really good to get it off my chest, and to have somebody that I know that there's somebody on the other side of this screen, who's willing to listen. It really means the world to me. So thank you so much. All right, you guys. So that's it. And again, thank you. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.